My guest today is Saba Jusoh, a life transformational coach, master trainer, and entrepreneur from Malaysia. Saba is a mother of five children, aged 15 to 28, who she passionately homeschools. In the transformational work she does as a coach and trainer, she helps people to get connected to the five P's: their purpose, passion, power, potential, and possibilities, so that they are empowered to live life to the fullest in their inner greatness with love and contribution. Having nearly 20 years of experience in this transformational work, she has clients worldwide. Prior to embarking on this transformational work and becoming a global leader, she was a lecturer at two local universities. Welcome to Theorem, dear Saba. I'm thrilled about having this conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Me too, actually. I'm so excited to be here today.
Um, well, this topic of unschooling couldn't be closer to my heart because I'm a dyslexic person that struggled at certain situations but thrived in others. And I'm also a mom of a severely dyslexic child whose reflection in school is that they're worthless. So the idea of unschooling sounds very appealing to me. How did it come about in your family?
It it's a long story actually, but it started with my third child. Actually, except for the first one, So I have five children, so only the first one actually completed the mainstream education. The
Mhm.
other four, I homeschool them at certain age. At certain age, they went to the mainstream education first, but at certain age I pull them out because they choose it actually. So basically, um, what I can say is that it started from my children not happy being in school.
Mhm.
They are stressed out, and they're just not happy. They're not happy on academic part, but they love learning. Yeah, so they love the extra curriculum. They love the example of the debates. They love the like the school activities, like storytelling, like drama or art class. They love that, but they just don't like the academic part because they don't like the what do you call it, the exam oriented thing. They've
Right.
got to do the homework
Mhm.
and all that. So my it started with my third one, my daughter. So she actually came with the idea of homeschooling since she was 8. So she was 8. She was in primary 2 here, so I think that is equivalent to grade 2 in some part of the world. So she came to me and she said that, "Mommy, can I just homeschool? I don't like to go to school." So me and my husband actually coming from a very traditional, what do you call it, family that never anyone, or in fact the idea of homeschool is very foreign to me that time. So this was like 18 years ago. Yeah. So I did not have the courage actually to pull her out. So every year is like we did a great negotiation with her to keep her remain in school until she was 14.
Mhm.
So she bravely said, no, schooling not for me anymore. So I did not want to go to school, but um you just can homeschool me. So with that idea actually, so um during all those years between she was 8 to what you call it, 14 years old. How long is that? It's 6 years. My math correct? 6 years.
Yes, yes.
So I actually did some homework, on my own. Did some study on my own, and I have friends actually, my good friend who already started homeschool all her children. So
Mhm.
from then I started to learn actually, and I have a little bit more courage actually to agree with her. So that's how it gets started. Yeah.
Mhm. And well, so it was her idea, but um what I'm thinking is that there are so many kids that are unhappy at school. They love to see their friends. They love their extracurricular activities, as you mentioned, but they do struggle in school. Would that be a solution? Would unschooling be a solution for all these kids? What do you think?
Great question. In my own experience, I won't say that unschooling or homeschooling is suitable for all children. You know, um, the mainstream education still applicable to certain group of children
Hmm.
who love, to be at school, who can focus on their study and all that, who love to be surrounded with same age children, same age peers. Yeah, I think that's suitable for them, and who also wants to, what do you call it, they have this kind of ambitions that they want to be um, successful in certain careers,
Right.
like careers like doctor, lawyer, accountant, so that may be suitable for them. Yeah, but
Hmm.
for those who wants to be like some other careers, like entertainer, for example, or entrepreneurs even, they may choose a different path. Homeschooling could be their path. Yeah.
Right. Yes. And um, in school, we, as children, we all get shaped, forged sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
into becoming. I mean, I'm not speaking about the academic aspect of this. I'm speaking
Mm-hmm.
about the other aspect, which is
Mm-hmm.
how we're being formed into citizens that are compliant, that are lawful, that are obedient, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, how does unschooling work for a child in this aspect?
Wow, great question again, because I never thought about it. Um, I think for me, I look at that in my experience with my children, homeschooling on that regard never about we raise like a rebellious citizen for the country. Never.
Mm-hmm.
It's all also about great values that we instill, so in fact, I think that for what I see in my own children, they've been trained, they've been instilled these values of leadership, these values of making themselves useful, being of service to others since young, so that when they have that value, so and that's how they keep applying in their life. So I think that they would turn out actually to be great contributors to the country, great citizens to the country. Yes, on that
Okay.
regard.
And could you please talk about the actual lives of your children and how they went through this unschooling experience and where they are today? Because this will
Okay.
provide a
Yeah.
great context for our conversation.
Great. So I really love to do that, because okay, I will what I will do is that I will start sharing the experience of each one actually. So four of them, my second son, because my eldest completed the mainstream education. So my second child, Azwan, 26 years old right now. So um, he dropped out from school by choice at 17. So she did not take this big exam, what so-called SPM exam, or perhaps equivalent to a GED for
Hmm.
US education. So he decided not to take that exam. 6 months before that big exam, actually, he chose to pull himself out from school. What happened was, because she had um, she had this challenge of eczema, the
Hmm.
allergy. So the
Yes.
skin allergy. So he had that very bad one that year, that time. I think that made him paralyzed for 6 months.
Wow.
Yes. So when we send them to the healing practitioner and doctor, he got it because he was so stressful. Yeah. So we
Right.
agreed with him. We decided to take him out as he wishes. So and then brought him to the get him healed, go through the healing process and all that. So but then he did not like school, the academic part, since like 14, because he's like the one that love being on entrepreneur path, so it's like since 14 actually he has been skipping many many days of schooling already.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was he went to other programs like leadership program, communication program, entrepreneurship programs outside. Even I sent him to overseas program as well, so he has a lot of other exposures. And also he started working since very very young at 14,
Mm-hmm.
so he started working already at 14. So through this different kind of education actually, he at 16, at 17, he already make money, he already make
Mm-hmm.
money by being a trainer, and also by being what do you call it, mostly trainer, and also some other businesses that he support other training, other masters doing the training as well, not only
Right.
locally
Okay.
but also globally,
Mm-hmm.
so he has different exposure. So that's why I said that the way that I brought my children, why I homeschool them, because I assess them to explore on these three criteria. One is their passion, where their passion is, and then their talent, what their talent is, and also their potential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the bottom line is I want my children to be happy rather than going for all those grades, because me and her husband went through that kind of education. We are high achievers. We studied in States, and then I furthered my study in UK. I was a lecturer before. So, but what I feel is that it's not that I'm not happy, but I said that something was missing. It's like it's achievement is one part, but not fulfillment. I've not been
Right.
full.
Yes.
I'm not feeling fulfilled.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I provide to my children. So where Azwan is right now, he's into these professional traders. Yeah, yeah. And another one, Amira. Amira is my third child, who I said that very, very courageous. At 8 years old, she already wants to have this idea of homeschool. And she did all the research actually. And she provided to me this link, that link, Yeah. And you just imagine every time, every school year open, she will come to me and the father, and she will make a deal, like, okay, for this year I just want to go to school like three times a week, only 3 days a week. The rest she will be at home. So I told her, okay, as long as she need to be there during the exam week. And she said
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then we negotiate again on the result that she will get. Yeah. So it's like, so I want you to bring 5 A's. No problem, mommy, I will bring 6 A's. But the thing is, she always overshot. So actually she studied on her own at home, and she loved it that
Wow.
way. Yeah. So I don't see my children why I choose to stop them, make them quit from the mainstream education, because they like, like the intelligence issues, or the focus on the studies issues, or that kind of thing. But mainly because they are not like, they feel like Amira, and also my two other kids, they feels like school education is too slow for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's too slow for them, and they feels like they're just wasting their time doing the homework. I'm sorry to say, I'm not opposing, actually, by saying this, I'm not opposing the mainstream education. Like I said, that I have high regard to all the teachers, to all the educators out there, because I consider myself a teacher at heart as well. A teacher at heart as well. Yeah. So where Amira is, when she came to me and she wanted to quit school at
Mm-hmm.
14. So I asked her, actually, where she see herself the next 5 years. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
at 14, she said that, I don't know, mommy. So I gave her time. Like, I remember about 1 2 weeks, to go and do some research and really do some self reflection, whatever that is for her at that time. Then she came back to me with three proposals. She said, okay, mommy, the first one, I want to study music. I want to be a vocal teacher. And then the second one, I want to open up, I'm seeing myself open up a daycare center for the infant and toddlers. And then the third one, I want to open up like a zoo or safari, because she loves animals. Yeah. So I said, okay, out of that, which one you want to do first? She said that music. So then I start to enroll her to music school, get her a music mentor, one of the best in the country, and she continue on taking that path. Yeah. And she doing a gig all around countries, all around KL. KL is Kuala Lumpur, the
Mm-hmm.
big city. Yeah. So she continued with that path, but let me tell you, it did not come with no challenge. We have our challenge as well. The biggest challenge is because none of my family, with regard to Amira, none of my family in the entertainment industry. So that by itself is a big challenge already. Of course, and also the uncertainty. We don't know where they might end up, whether they make it or not make it. I always have that conversation with my husband, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also some support groups in the homeschooling community. But the thing is, I think that what make me inspired me, or what keep me going, is um the spirit, the energy, the way that when I have a conversation with my children, it's always inspire me. Like, I learn together with them. Like
Mm-hmm.
Amira, she's into music, which is none of my family. So when I see her progress, like when she first sung Nobody Wants to Hear, until
Yes.
she can sing in front of, like, made her own show in front of like thousands of people, thousands of crowds. So I'm so proud of her. And then she can make money because she also become a vocal teacher, like what she wanted to, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
at a very young age. So that's for Amira. And I have another one. Um, Sophia is 20 right now, this year, and she's at University of South Australia. So she
Mm-hmm.
quit school at 15. So what happened to her is that she's really on entrepreneur journey. She's really about making money, and she's really about someone who love money. She always said that, I love money, I love money. So she started her own online business since she was 13 or 12 or
Wow.
13, something like that.
Impressive.
Yes, very impressive. And what she sells, that she sold this iPhone online through her IG shop. That time when she get started, is IG is something that quite new, actually. So she
Mm-hmm.
opened up that, and she managed to have 20 drop shippers under her, like 20 agents. Yeah,
Wow.
and she makes huge sum of money out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in fact, she also, after that, she also created her own training program to teach the youth on how to set up a business online through IG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Interesting. Yes.
very interesting. So they are very courageous. You know what? When Sophia approached her father that she want to open up this online selling iPhone online, you know what my husband said to her? My husband said, "Oh, what about if you got scammed by supplier? what about, you lost, the people's money, you lost that these people's money because it's quite large sum of money for their age. It's like the iPhone is like in ringgit is like 3,000, 3,000,
Yep.
2,000, 3,000. So it's a big sum.
Mm-hmm.
And then what she said, I still remember. We were in the living room and she said this to the father. She said that, Dad, I don't have the answer for that question right now. Let me do it, then I'll come back and I'll tell you. Yeah. I was like, I have no more to say. Go
Uh-huh.
ahead. I'll support you. Yeah.
Wow.
And within 2 weeks, she made a profit of 4,000, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember when I went into her room, she like organized that notes, that thousands notes on her bed. She spread it out and she slept on it. She
Wow.
lied down and slept on the money. She said, Mommy, it smells so good. I never imagined myself. And then I asked myself, why didn't I have that idea to do such thing? Yeah, I still remember, at 50, at 12, 13, even to hold 100 notes. I think that is very rare that I could recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I came from a family that, kids, what you call it? Kids do not keep the money,
Yes.
Yeah. Keep, especially the big sum of money. You will lose it,
Yes. Limiting
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah, it's all that limiting belief. I never imagined that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I see that changes. I see that like the new thing, new new environment, new things, new values. So I myself actually learned a lot more from my children. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Sophia, she took 5 years gap from mainstream education, and then she always have this dream to go to further her study in university. So
Mm-hmm.
she has that actually. So also another thing that I did with my children, whoever that want to study, go to college or university, so the way that I work with them is I work backward.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in school, like we we study, we follow we took the exam and all that, and then only we look for the university, we apply for the university to
Mm-hmm.
suit the grades that we got in the exam, right? But
Yes.
for my children, I work it backwards. So I look for the university first, ask them what they want to study, what they want to do. So like Sophia, of course, she wants to study business, she wants to study that entrepreneurship program. So we went to the university in US when she was 15, and we asked about the requirements and all that. So when she came back, she did independent study to take
Mm-hmm.
the TOEFL, the English exam, and also the SAT.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she did that. But then the pandemic came, so the pandemic came. So we hold to that study. So when last year, when it was over, so I we discussed, and then me and my husband said, why not you just go to Australia instead, because we feel that it's closer to home. So she agreed. So we apply the university in Australia. But the thing is, the challenge was because she did not have any other, like the academic requirement,
Right.
just like any other student. So the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
place that she can apply, of course, very limited. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the time when, we talked to the university, and then she created this portfolio of homeschooling portfolio, 33 pages, a homeschooling portfolio, and we submit that together with her TOEFL and also SAT results.
Mm-hmm.
So she got admitted finally.
All right.
Yes, she got admitted finally, and now she's on the semester two already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it was like a really, really a great celebration for us because she did so well last semester. You
Mhm.
know, for a person who took 5 years gap from the mainstream education, he took four subjects and he got all straight A's.
Wow.
Yeah. So for me, it's like wow, and she always look for the opportunity to serve. You know,
Mhm.
to serve like in the leadership role in the university, in supporting her classmates in because she has some other classmates also that English is not their mother tongue. So she provide that service to her friends as well. Yeah. So that's for Sophia. And then I have another one right now at home with us, 15, my son, Afik. So for him, she just have 1 year school education,
Mhm.
extended one or at grade
Mhm.
one, you know. So for him right now that I'm working on to provide him, of course, certain skills like skill set, you know, so that he also can start exploring the world. Yeah. Hmm.
Um.
So in a nutshell, actually, I can summarize it or the way that I raise my children based on five pillars.
Mhm.
I always say this, and I love to share this. You know, the first one is connection to God. You know, they have very very close connection to God, and then you know they trust with a higher power. So then a second one is leadership with no title.
Mhm.
Leadership with no title. What does it mean? It means that a very simple but profound definition of leadership that they live with. A leader is someone who makes themselves useful to
Mhm.
themselves and others. Just make yourself useful. So even though they just confine themselves at home, but mind you, they always think of how can I make myself useful today? So that question is always be in the conversation. So
Mhm.
it's normal in the house that I see my son, you know, like cooking, like take the trash out, you know, helping me with the groceries, in fact, or helping me with the laundry. So it's no fixed schedule and all that. No, I was like, when I was at their age, you know, my mom got to like um, really like command me.
Oh wow. Yes.
Yes, right? Yeah, it does not come from out of their willingness. But for my children, I see that happen to them. So
Mhm.
they take on that leadership with no title. Yeah. And then the third one is on financial literacy. So they equip themselves with the master in earning the money, keeping the money, and growing the money since very young.
Mhm.
Yes, since very young. They have been exposed to doing business themselves. Like I just shared, in fact, for Afik, he has been a commercial talent, you know, on ads job, on TV, on the website, and all that since he was 5 years old. Yes. So I allow them to what do you call it? To keep their own money.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they live with the principle of pay themselves first. So
Mhm.
whenever they have the money, they always pay themselves first. It has been their number one money principles that they live with. In
Mhm.
fact, that's a normal conversation between us in the family. Yeah. And it's fun to see that because let me tell you, when Azwan, I remember my second son, my son, he was like 10 years old. He always bring no less than 700 in her wallet.
Mhm. Mhm.
So whenever I went to do the groceries, when the ATM broke down, you know, out of order, I always know that I have mobile ATM with me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's him. Yeah, so that's fun, you know, that's fun. And one day, Azwan also, he when at the earlier stage that he learned how to drive, so he knocked my side window. Is it called side
Mhm.
window?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So but when he came back, he told me that you know what he did with what happened to my car, and then he actually gave me 800.
Mhm.
He told me, "Mommy, this is 800. I'm responsible for what happened. So you take the car to the workshop. If it's not enough, you let me know. I will work it out,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
top up that." So that the I think that's just beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. They learn about that, being responsible, being transparent, being open in communication. Yeah. And so that's the third pillar, leadership with no, the third pillar is financial literacy.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then the fourth one is fully express, impactful communication and fully express.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's also very important. Yeah. So for my children, I always give them a safe space to express their emotion. And not only for them, for me too, to express my emotion to them as well when I'm not happy with certain of their behaviors, things like that. So we keep it that way, that like human being to being interaction. It's
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
just like, I'm your mom, you need to listen to me. It's not from that space. Yeah. And it works so well, when I see that, where because two of them are already married right now. In fact, I have a 2 years old grandson.
Mhm.
So I have a very beautiful relationship with them. Yeah. So that's number four. And number five, the fifth pillar is what do you call it? Service to community.
Mhm.
So since young, I actually designed the program, as I also active in the NGOs, and also sometimes I just get support from my friends who are also active in NGOs, for my young children that time, to like get themselves involved, like feeding the homeless, visiting the spend time at the orphanage, at the elderly folks, things like that. And to the
Yes.
extent that like some of my children, um, they also do like the some of these programs that they did, the leadership program, the financial programs, entrepreneurship program with the young inmates at prison, and also correctional schools, so
Mhm.
they were
Mhm.
there. And also they allocate some of their profits, actually like 10%, to spend with this orphanage, with these children,
Mhm.
unfortunate children.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I feel that this is
Very rich
I
experience.
yeah, huge experience, rich experience. But the key to that is that you are being intentional in raising your children. You're being
Yes, very intense.
intentional,
And you
very intentional.
and they
Yeah,
are grounded
yeah,
at the
they are
same time.
grounded. Yes, at every moment, it's like you take it as a learning space for both of you, for whoever be in that space, regardless, you are the parents, you are the children, whoever,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Uh,
So
Saba,
yes,
you mentioned the word fulfillment and
yes,
how these five pillars help a person find their path that is fulfilling. And
right,
I know so many people, and I have so many clients who struggle with that. They're not fulfilled, they don't feel that
right,
in their
right,
lives, especially through their professional life. And
yes,
yes, conventional education or the mainstream education, as you say, is one that is one size fit all.
yes, exactly,
And you've described how your children have blossomed through their unschooling experience,
right. I
and
love
I'm
the word
wondering,
blossom.
um, how can a person who is done with their education, how
Mhm.
can they um, hmm, follow this structure of these pillars to bring fulfillment into their lives?
I,
Or another part in this question, how can a parent whose child goes to a conventional school, how can they incorporate these principles into their kids' upbringing?
okay, I think so. there are two parts there, you know.
Yeah.
One is for the adults who
Mm-hmm,
already
mm-hmm,
be in the professional life, wants to get the fulfillment. I think that it's never too late, you know, but of course, there are a lot of consideration. Because when
mm-hmm.
I was last time, I was a lecturer, like I said, and then I felt unfulfilled. So I took that courageous step actually to quit my job and follow my heart. So, and then I know so many of them. So the word is, you know, courage. You need courage. You need to demonstrate that no one else can make it better for you or can make it fulfill for you except yourself. And it takes courage, it does. And it starts with a decision to be truthful to yourself, to be authentic about what's not being authentic.
Yes, but sometimes doing this doesn't make sense in the sense that how am I going to survive without an income if I quit my job, for example?
I got it. I got it. So that's where most people get stuck and
Mm-hmm.
keep getting stuck
Mm-hmm.
because they make a decision out of circumstances
Yes.
and not possibilities.
Ooh,
Ooh,
wow!
wow.
I love this. Say that
Yes.
again.
Yes. You know, so you get trapped time
Yes.
and again, and you know, every single cell in your body know that
Ah,
feeling when you get trapped.
yes.
And every single cell in your body know when you start seeing the light of possibilities.
Yes.
When of course you can't do it alone, you know. I won't. It take a village actually. But reach out. Reach out. You're not the first one on this planet, you know, and the only one still get stuck. So many have made it before.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out. Get support. Yeah. But you must come from that decision. Being truthful, being courageous, you know.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm still taking this in. It's just it's an idea, it's a notion that I adore because it kind of makes all the limitations like poof, disappear.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. The possibilities, because we are unlimited being.
Mm-hmm.
We are human being. We are not human doing. What does it mean? It means that the source is that pure and unlimited spiritual energy. That's who we are.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So where you get stuck, actually, where life happens, is just between your two ears, and you carry that for so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Believing
get
that
trapped.
that's all there is.
Yes, but that's not, and you don't have anyone else to tell you that it's not. Like what I felt last time. Every single day, I felt like I was dragging my feet to
Mm-hmm.
work,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
know that's easy.
When a person knows that they want to move from that place of feeling stuck to that place of seeing possibility and expanding their perception,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, do you have any tips for this? How they can get help, how they can change their dynamics, their life dynamics, and move from that place to the other?
Yeah. Firstly, is get real with where you are. Get
Mm-hmm.
real. Just for me, I always tell my client, you know, take a piece of paper and start writing.
Mm-hmm.
What are the issues? What are the real issues? Finance. What about finance? Go into very, get clear. What is it about finance? You know, and so on, so forth. Whatever issues that you have. Perhaps
Mm-hmm.
disagreement of a non-supportive partner could be, you know. So get clear with that. And
Okay.
then the next step is you can imagine uh, what do you want? What do you really want? How do you see yourself when that's possibilities? When if this is not, you know, this is, you can remove these issues.
Mm-hmm.
These issues is not your space. So you know that, right? You get that. Where you want to go, or why, what you want to have in your life. So that's leave you with the gap. How you want to
Right.
go
Yes.
there, that bridge, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that bridge, you know, trust me, your intelligent mind will support you to make it successful. Yes. You will come out like crazy, you know. Oh, I remember this one friend. That already did this, you know, successfully. Oh, I want to contact that person. Yeah. Or if your partner not supporting you, could be that your sibling supporting you. Go and talk to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, your genius might work, but the key is be truthful, be clear what get you stuck, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and also be clear of what you want to invite or what you want to happen in your life, that
Mm-hmm.
possibilities that you want to create, and then start bridging the gap.
Great. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And let me go back to my previous question about how we do this with our kids when they are already in a conventional schooling environment.
Yes. So with the children that have been in the schooling environment, this is the thing. um First and foremost, I think that what work for me and my children, because we have a great bonding, we have that strong connection,
Mm-hmm.
we have been communicating, you know, we had that open communication. Yeah. So first and foremost, what I invite the parents out there is create that open communication bond, and also bonding strong connection with your children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is the thing. um Many of my friends as well share that that's not easy for their own children to listen to them. To me, the way that I take it, coming from my own experience in the past, you know, a lot of learning experience for me to come to where I am now with my children, is that I myself do not willing to listen to my children.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So that's need to come first.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, to be willing to listen, to listen. Just listen, even though you disagree, even though you have great idea, even though these parents always say this, I know best what's for you.
Yes.
You know, but hold yourself, you know, hold yourself, just listen, just
Mm-hmm.
listen, you know. So once you listen, then that channel of communication open, and you just, you know, can put in whatever your thoughts, whatever your idea to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just be willing also to listen, even though it's the funniest idea, it's the like the m- s- most stupid idea you heard from them, you know, but make it okay, make it okay. It's actually a gift in a relationship when you do that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
when you do that, because then, like what I experience my children, when they not happy with certain things that happen in school, they will come back to me and they are willing to just let it out, to just pour it, to just, you know, for me to listen. You know, they don't go to their friends, of course they go, but then they find it, you know, I they have my back. Yeah. Yeah. And their friends, my children's friends also comes to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for, again, for the children who are in already in that conventional school, you know, provide that space to listen, to create bonding, to create that open communication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
basis for everything else.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because so much actually that they you can learn about your children just through listening. They have, I don't know. I mean that sometimes I think that is a myth actually that parents know best. The path that the each of their child um, will make it successful to go through. It's
Yes,
actually they themselves know best actually. So just
I agree.
yeah, just be willing to explore together with them,
Mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm,
you have parents, have adults. You may have certain strength, yeah, you do have, but as what do you call it, as the owner, of that path, they're going to embark. They are actually responsible for their own life path, to
mm-hmm,
make
mm-hmm,
it successfully or not to make it. They are responsible for their own path. So give that chance to them, while all along you guide them. It's like just like a tour guide, Yeah, it's just like you teach your child how to drive, drive the car. You
mm-hmm,
at their side as a co-pilot, and then you controlling they controlling the wheel.
mm-hmm,
So you just guide them actually.
mm-hmm,
Of
mm-hmm,
course they will make mistakes. They will make mistakes, get through get to experience breakdowns and all that, but that's part of the process.
mm-hmm,
That part of the process. And what the way that you can support them is when they are going through breakdown, where they are going through that learning experience, making mistakes, ask them questions.
mm-hmm,
What do you learn from that? And or share from your own breakdown, share from the space of your own mistakes, so that they can relate. Oh, my mom also human being like me. My dad also just a normal human being like me. So
mm-hmm,
normalize that. It's
mm-hmm,
like it's
mm-hmm.
not just not happen to them, one exceptional one that weird on the planet. No, everyone go through that. So put our ego aside, just be humble and be human. Yeah.
Um, my favorite thing of everything you've said, I think, or
Mm-hmm.
the like the essence of this whole thing you've been describing, is that this unschooling experience is an experience for both the parent and the child, and that it's a learning experience for both. And
Exactly.
yeah, and I love this. I love this. Saba, thank you so, so much for this wonderful conversation. I am excited. I am thrilled about everything we've said. I'm so inspired. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, you are very, very welcome. And I actually myself is just being grateful and in full gratitude, to be able to share my experience, and maybe that through my sharing it would help one or two, families out there, parents, children out there, to explore this path which I call route less travel. But it's worthwhile and it's fulfilling. It's so rewarding.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Theorem podcast. Connect with me on social media at Aspasia Provou and at theorem.podcast and share your thoughts. You may support us on Patreon. Visit the website aspasiaprovou.com/theorem for more. Kalema sinduma, meaning talk to you soon in Greek. Aspasia's Theorem podcast does not provide advice, medical or any other kind. It just presents the opinions of its host and guests. If you have any specific problems, please visit your physician or a medical expert for help. Anything said should not be taken as a replacement for medical, clinical, or professional advice, diagnosis, or medical intervention. The episodes of Aspasia's Theorem podcast may, at times, cover sensitive topics including, but not limited to, mental health, nutrition, health, politics, spirituality, alternative medicine, energy healing, and the use of plant medicines. You're advised to refrain from continuing if you are adversely impacted by any of these topics.